Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I did the Beatles song.
Okay.
Okay. He's taking drugs. He's taking drugs. How long do you have to hold it in for? Oh, okay, fair enough. As long as possible.
Yeah, as long as I can think is possible.
Is that genuinely what you got to do?
I don't know. I think it's supposed to be like between 10 and 15 seconds, but I just do it
That's
for as
quite
long as I
long.
can bother.
Yeah, that's quite long.
Yeah, that is quite long. Yeah.
Jay, mate, 18th episode. You excited?
Yes. I feel like there's not as much news this week.
No, I mean, I think the Ubisoft Forward's chunky, to be fair,
Yeah,
mate.
I hope so. I hope
think
you've
it
got some
is.
good opinions on it, at least.
I think we've both got good opinions on it. For the uninitiated, Jay,
Yeah.
the TGO show is what we're recording right now. Comes every Saturday morning, back on schedule, back on the Met, back on
Sure.
schedule with you, the Goldilocks gamer, Jay.
Yes. Yes.
Who's and me, the friendly neighborhood Nick.
I had a bit of a thing about that really quick.
Okay, he's got a
I
name
thought
for
about
me.
it in the shower. I had a thought in the shower.
Mm.
I was sort of reminding myself about schedule of like how I play a game.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling.
Generally.
Yeah, like so. What I like to do is I like to play a certain amount of hours before lunchtime, and then like so many hours after, and that's how I usually gauge and how I hope I don't get a headache. Because I found the longer I play a game, the more likely I am to get a headache. So what I usually do is I'll have like either an hour or an hour and a half of playtime from like 9 to maybe 10 or half 10. I'll go and have a shower, 10-minute, 20-minute break, and then I'll play another hour or an hour and a half up until about 12, 12:30. Have about a half an hour break or maybe sometimes an hour break for lunch, and then play from that till tea, another break, and then from that till about 10, and then I'm good. And that is usually like a good amount of spacing for me to not have to get a headache by the end of the day.
Yeah, and sorry that you're linking that to the Goldilocks thing.
Yeah, because I feel like if I don't get the balance right, it don't taste good, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
It's not as comfy of a bed.
I feel that, man. I've got headaches from, God knows how many hour play sessions.
I've actually found if I play too much too early in the day, I'll get a headache before lunch. Like if I played from like 7 till 10
11.
or 11,
Yeah.
I'll get a headache. But if I play from 9 till half 10 and then from 11 till 12, I won't ever get a headache.
Yeah.
Very rarely. I have to drink, obviously, but very rarely.
It sounds like you're acting out the advice that the consoles manufacturers give, which is genuinely
Honestly,
have a break every hour.
Kind of works. Kind of works. Although I found my brain tends to not get hurt as much if I play like maybe like in 4 or 5 hour bursts in the evening. If it's in the morning, it's different. I feel like my brain has to like sort of turn a bit first, has to wake up a bit. But because it's awake already by the evening, it tends to not as hurt if I play for longer.
Yeah. Will you stop in the middle of a big boss battle for these breaks, or what? What's the?
Oh, I'll have to like
deal?
be in a town probably and have recently saved.
Yeah.
I can't stop in the middle of a boss. I have to finish that first.
When you take these breaks, does it help with the motivation of playing the game as well? That you feel more motivated because you're taking more breaks?
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. It also makes me like, savor it, like taking sips of whiskey or something, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Savor it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. So we like to discuss, Jay, video games. Sometimes we play them. Sometimes we don't. We got a hashtag.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about this week.
No, I can't believe that's like our thing. That's so cool.
I mean, it's probably not. I mean, no one's used it, but it's our thing,
so.
Yeah. It's our thing. So before we jump into the Ubisoft Forward event, Jay, which is I think one of the main topics of the show, can you take me through what you've been playing or will be playing?
Yeah, so this might surprise you.
Okay.
Do you remember Rocket Arena? It was shown, I think, at the Xbox event, maybe.
I don't.
Yeah, so it's like a
Is it you mean the
3v3.
PS5 event?
No, the third-party Xbox one, the one early before the PS5 event.
Yeah, I don't remember it at all, mate.
Yeah, so it was that 3v3 sort of like cartoony arena type game where you just like, kill each other, or there's different like game modes. And I
I've
thought
seen a couple of adverts for it.
I kind of was debating on whether to get it on the 14th, and then I didn't get it on the 14th, but I got it yesterday.
Was it out on the 14th?
Yeah, it's out on the 14th, but I got it on the 15th. I've been playing it all day yesterday and most of today, and I quite like it actually. I was looking at it during that event, thinking, do I want to play that? And I thought no initially, but then I looked up some more videos before it came out, and I was like, oh, actually, this kind of looks like my kind of thing. So I've given it a go.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite fun. I've definitely gotten to the point now. I've played exactly 50 games because I can see on my tally. I've figured out my main character that I like to use.
So what is it, Jay? Like a hero, like a bleeding edge type game?
Yeah, basically it's like third person but 3v3. But everyone has some sort of rocket launcher in quotes. Like you have
a different type of rocket launcher.
Yeah, so there's like there's a pirate, like a giant bearded pirate with like a cannon that he holds. There's another character that sort of holds this like very futuristic looking sort of like minigun, but with like 16 rocket ammo capacity. Another person has a spear that shoots like futuristic rocket spearheads off at the end of it. Like there's different versions depending on which character, and they all vary in terms of like arcing, projectiles essentially, and they all have like an ability and they can fly about. But the actual health bar system in the game is more like Smash Brothers than any other game. So in Smash Bros, you get to a maximum capacity health, and once you get to a certain level, it's easier for you to be knocked out of the arena, and that's exactly how it works in this. So I thought that was quite clever.
So, as in, the lower your health, the more chance you have of getting knocked out.
No, so you basically have this bar above your head, and if it gets to full, your next hit you're guaranteed to be knocked out.
Okay,
but you can have that bar come back down if you don't get hit for long enough.
Okay, and it sounds like it's quite chaotic then, with the rocket launchers everywhere.
I'm kind of glad it's 3v3. If it was 5v5, it'd probably be. They must have tested that, which is probably why. It would definitely be too much. I think if it was first person and 5v5, it might be a little bit more doable. Because it's third person, you have a bit more field of view, so it's a lot easier for you to shoot someone. That makes sense, or for you to be able to move out of the way. So, no, I quite enjoy it. I'm surprised you can't remember. Actually, I'm guessing you weren't that too.
Look, I pride myself on not having a really bad memory, and that doesn't spring to mind whatsoever.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I think I was kind of looking for a game that I could literally just jump into for like a day or two, and know I'll probably get bored of it within a couple of days, which is why obviously I wanted it before Ghost, because I was losing my mind for the last 2 weeks. I haven't played hardly anything for the last 2 weeks. All I've been doing is watching anime and films. I rewatched Hunger Games the other night. I was like, oh my god, what am I doing?
Because of the Ghost of Tsushima coming out.
Yeah, I just needed something before, so I thought I'll play that. And they've got like a battle pass system like in Fortnite, but it isn't beginning until the 28th of July. So I'll hopefully have had Ghost finished by then, so I'll be able to come back to it and progress a bit more if I can.
Cool.
I don't think there's any other games coming out after Ghost. Not really. Not until October, anyway.
And Borderlands 3, you've been playing that as well, Jay?
Yeah, why did I write down Borderlands 3? Oh, yeah, there's been some rumours. They've been around for a while, but they've been coming up a bit more frequently now about there being potentially a fourth skill tree for each character.
Right.
So you know how there's three skill trees? There's like the green, the blue, and the red. There's potentially going to be a purple one.
Interesting.
So I just thought I'd mention that to you and see if you'd heard of it before, or how you feel about it.
Well, I'm not that deep in Borderlands rumours. I'll play anything that comes out on it as an update, but I'm not diving into the forums every week.
But does that sound like a good idea to you?
I mean, to me personally, no. It feels unnecessary. I guess there's lots of Borderlands players out there, though, who will do what exactly? Just transfer all their skill points into the skill tree.
So yeah, they'll just respec and build different builds, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's not for me. I have a build, but like I can see the appeal. Is it worth the work? Is my question, my retaliation to you. Is it worth the work they're putting in to make that additional skill tree?
I mean, I would hope so. It definitely sounds appealing to me. I'd love to be able to do. Like, I'm starting to get a bit not bored, but just sort of like, oh, I'm doing the same build over and over. Like I can kill any boss within 3 seconds basically at this point, even on
Okay.
Mayhem 10. So I need to like, I don't necessarily need the game to be harder. I just want it to be, I don't know, a bit. I need something a bit fresher.
Sure.
I need to see something new, something different, something they've never done before. Not just like a new DLC, but something additional. You know, something that changes the gameplay slightly.
Have they done this before?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm
But they've
curious
had
to
new
see what.
characters. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the skill tree would be, because obviously each one has attains to the character's like way they play. So whether it would be something that is like similar across the board, or if it will like be attuned. I imagine they would be quite tuned towards the character, but yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen, but it seems like it has the potential to happen. Because
Okay.
again, there's been. I told you, I think last week or the week before, there was rumors about there being a new way to spend your. I forgot what the bloody purple currents, iridium. Yeah, as a new potentially a new way and that's why the skill tree that's being released is rumored to be purple as well. So
Oh,
people think
okay.
that the skill tree might be to do with iridium as well.
That's cool.
People are
That's
thinking
cooler
it's
than
some
just a
sort of
normal
alien
one.
technology type skill thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
if they like incorporate that, that'll be new and amazing. So I'm looking forward to that if that is a thing. I doubt it, but it'd be cool if it was.
I imagine they'll probably include that with DLC 4. I mean, maybe not, but I assume so. I'll jump into it to see what it is, but not much else for me, unfortunately, mate.
Yeah, yeah, but if that does happen, I'll bring it back up and we can talk about it a bit more, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I have, Jay, been playing Odyssey.
Yes.
As per.
Where are you now?
I'll tell you.
Have you started the DLC?
I just started the DLC.
So, okay. Like, how many hours in? Like an hour in? Half an hour in?
Half an hour.
Oh, okay, you haven't seen anything. Okay.
I've met Darius.
Okay, cool. Oh man, I can't wait for you to finish that DLC. I really can't.
It's going to be a while, Jay. I'm doing what I can. I don't know what to tell you. Have faith in me as the day that blah blah. What's her name? A Day to Remember? What? Yeah, that's that. Yeah. Have faith in me. You know that song you sent?
Yeah, I do, but I'm surprised you brought that up.
Yeah, that Day to Remember song.
Okay, yeah. I didn't think you liked them.
I don't really. I'm just spreading the love. And Jav, my biggest update for you.
Yes,
something
please.
I'm very pleased with. I've platinumed Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, thank God.
It's over.
Christ. Okay.
You can't stop this.
It's all like, I'm guessing there was a sense of relief afterwards.
There was, Jay. Just a quick one on this.
Yeah, you go.
This is the best way I can explain it. Okay. I went on the journey. I was with every character at every point of the journey, and I believed in every single moment in it. So when the ending happened, that was where I was at.
Okay.
So when I started the New Game Plus playthrough, the ending was the main thing that stood out to me emotionally second time round, because that is where I was with the story. Does that make any sense?
A little bit, yeah.
It's like it's just imagine it like you've seen the film, you can enjoy watching it again, but the ending's kind of where it's at because that's the end of the story that you know, and like I can't relive the first playthrough, and now I'm just looking to the future or to the end.
It's hard. Yeah, I feel like that is almost like watching this. It's almost like watching the second film in a trilogy. You know, there's potentially still more to come, but you're annoyed that you have to wait.
A little bit.
Yeah, I kind of get that same feeling when I know there's a third film, but I can't watch that film yet.
Yeah,
because they've left it on such a cliffhanger. Like, well, is there going to be another one or no?
Mate, I
Yeah, I
remember
hate
when
that.
Dead Man's Chest was out, and I remember the waiting for that third film for so long,
Yeah,
dude.
I didn't do that for Pirates. Like Pirates is one of those film series where I was like, well, I'll wait for the next one, but I'm not like excited about waiting for the next one,
Oh, dude.
which I guess is weird for some
No, I
people.
mean
But
it's not for everyone, but that's kind of where I am. And just to let you know, Jay, I don't think they'll make a part 3.
no,
No.
I to be honest, I don't think they will either. Although they have been hiring some people for their next game,
Sure.
which I don't think is going to be 3. It's just going to be another probably Uncharted type thing. I don't know. It'll be something.
Yeah, it's got to be something new, I think, mate, because I can't see people receiving Uncharted that
No, what I meant by that is it'll be
positively.
a game probably similar to what they've done
Oh,
previously. Either
yeah,
that, or
sure.
it'll just be like another action game or like a story-driven something. A
Sure.
classic Naughty Dog type game is probably what I meant to say.
If it's the same team that made Lost Legacy, mate, we could be looking at it sooner than expected if it's the similar scope and stuff. Yeah, it could be a big add-on for Last of Us Part 2 where
I was going to
for
say, yeah, are they going to add on for that? Is that going to be
there's
what
definitely
they're going to
stories
do?
they could tell we didn't see in the game. I'm not
Okay,
sure whether they need to be told, but they're there.
it's up to them, I
Um,
guess.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway, Jay, shall we move on to the main news of the day, so to speak? Are you happy to move on? We're talking about Ubisoft Forward.
Ubisoft. Okay.
Ubisoft. So, Jay, we both you hit me up and you're like, Nick, Ubisoft event. By the way, I feel like I've brought a lot of mellow vibes, but you were actually quite excited before the call. I feel like I've mellowed it out. Maybe that's not a bad thing. I'm just, no.
No, it's just that time of day.
It's true. It's
It's
true.
just that time of day.
So you text me, you're like, Nick, there's a Ubisoft event at 8. You watching it? I was
Ubisoft.
like, yeah, let's do it. Like 20 minutes before it was on, I was like, yeah, all right, I'll watch it. So we watched it
Yeah,
together.
I didn't expect you to actually like watch it with me. I was sort of like, oh, just letting you know it's on. If you want to watch it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I
I guess
enjoy
it was
watching
quite
these
lucky because
things.
you literally got home like just before it started, right? So
That's
yeah,
right,
that was
yeah.
good timing, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, I like watching these things with other people. So we watched the whole show.
we
I
did.
think it was only about 45 minutes, wasn't it? The official show?
Yeah, about that. Like
Nice
45.
and short.
I mean,
So
if you count the half an hour of gameplay for AC Odyssey, or no, AC Valhalla
Valhalla,
afterwards, it
sure.
was closer to like an hour and 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like a little bonus. Yeah, so Jay, let's go through the main games that they talked about and what they showed. Let's not spend forever on them, but obviously, we've got Creedcast, so we might as well talk about Valhalla. We'll leave that till last.
Sure.
Let's go in order of what they showed, if that's all right, Jay. So
Yeah.
Valhalla probably won't be last, actually. But anyway, so to start off with, we have Watch Dogs Legion, if I'm correct.
Yes.
So they showed off this
Yes.
really very cool cinematic trailer, and then they showed quite a lot of gameplay, showed the different approaches you can make. I'm interested to see what you think of this game, Jay, because I'm probably
Yeah,
not
so
going to
just
get
just
it.
a quick side. After the event, they actually released like loads and loads of other gameplay stuff.
For Watch Dogs.
Like, yeah, I've probably got saved in my watch later list probably about another hour's worth of other gameplay tidbits, like them showing off like how big the map is, what it's going to be like changing between different characters, stuff like that, and how that is like important and everything. So yeah, in terms of like all that information, I'm quite excited. I haven't actually watched that gameplay yet, but I'm going to watch it and probably get back to you a little bit more on that.
Okay.
But from what I do know, I'm fairly excited. I mean, it's coming out end of October, right? So it's
Yes.
it's pretty quick. It's pretty soon. July, August,
It
September,
is.
October.
It's kind of come around, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. Like in my mind, this wasn't coming out until. I mean, weirdly, I thought it wasn't coming out till like maybe January next year. I don't know why I thought that, but I just couldn't pinpoint it. I guess actually they did delay this game once already. It was supposed to come out either it was supposed to have already come out or come out within like the next couple of weeks. I want to
Okay.
say it might have even been August actually that it was supposed to come out, but it's yeah. So they've delayed it, which they actually made a video on IGN saying why the delay was important. So I'll have to watch that as well.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't know actually until I saw the video headline. I was like, oh, it's interesting they delayed it.
Very
But yeah,
interesting.
no, I'm looking forward to this. I'm hoping it's going to be different to Watch Dogs 2 enough that I'll
Yes.
enjoy it because Watch Dogs 2 really bummed me out. I was like, oh, this game is just annoying.
Different in a. It's more fun.
Yeah, just a bit more like chaotic and cartoony and like wacky almost. I kind of like imagine I don't know. That was kind of my problem with 2 actually. It was kind of wackier. But the thing I liked about Watch Dogs 1 actually was how serious it was
Oh,
and
Jay.
how it didn't really like you felt like a hacker, but not in like you felt like a hacker that was part of. Okay, this is a comparison. Watch Dogs 1 is if you're a hacker in Anonymous. Watch Dogs 2 is if you're a hacker that's still in high school. That's kind of what it felt like to me. It felt like a junior hacker versus a veteran hacker, right? 2 and 1 kind of thing. Well, I'm hoping this one, by the looks of it, it kind of feels a bit more like that in between. Like you're not quite anonymous and you're not quite someone who's just graduated high school. You're more of
Sure.
like in between, hopefully. But I think this one seems more to be on the technology side than the actual like hacker side, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. This one is like so up in the air that I have no idea exactly how I'm going to feel about it probably until like the week before.
It.
Annoyingly,
I think it's got some really interesting concepts. So coming out
oh,
later this year,
it looks
again,
amazing. I'll give it
it's
that.
kind of yeah,
Like
it's
in terms
kind
of
of
like
just rolled
graphically, it
around.
looks good.
Yeah, and the cinematic shot they showed was interesting, based in London, which is cool.
Yes,
And I
big
think
selling point.
the main draw for a lot of people will probably be the you can recruit any NPC as far as we know in the game to your cause. Now, will those NPCs have about 30 templates where they base their characters from? Very, very likely, or less or more, I don't know, but around
Yeah, I
that.
feel like they've probably like spent enough time for you to have quite a large variation because
Yeah,
there's still going to be like I guess a small number is 30 people, right? I think my big question with that was like, can you swap your party out? Can your party, grow? Like, do you start with a party of like only being able to have 5 people at once, to by the end of the game having 20 or 30 people at once? Because the way they did it in the gameplay is that each person is basically like having a different game style or gameplay style. Like one person was more stealthy,
yeah,
whereas the other person was more like construction, kind of like I don't know, more like guns blazing type situation. So I'm hoping
yeah.
there'll be like quite a big variation on what they can all do. And you can it's almost like swapping out your equipment for the mission you're about to do, but the equipment being the person that you play.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be interested to see whether players do switch between what missions they play, or they like a character and they stick to that character for every mission.
Yeah,
That'll
yeah.
be interesting to see.
I guess you
If
could. Yeah, you definitely could do that. It's almost like playing Dark Souls with a character without leveling up.
mm,
Like you are hindering yourself, I imagine, but it probably could be quite fun just to stick with one person. It'd be
yeah,
more of a challenge, I guess, like playing the game almost on hard mode.
it'll be
I don't know.
interesting to see how gameplay fluid this game really is in
Yeah,
terms
that
of.
was your biggest thing, wasn't it? I remember you saying that when we were talking about it. Yeah, because you said before. I think I might have even added on what you said about the game feeling quite clunky.
Hmm,
Like the
hmm.
cover mechanics always felt a bit too sort of like heavy, almost a bit like Gears.
But
Just felt very heavy.
sure, sure. I
Yeah,
like the Gears cover mechanics because
I
I
know.
feel like
Yeah, I know you do. I
I feel
don't.
like you
I
stick
hate
to them
them.
easy, but I get what you're saying. Like they do feel heavy,
Yeah, it feels
and
heavy.
it's one of those things, Jay, where it's like you can show us a gameplay scenario and you can show the different ways we can do it. I think the question is, are we motivated to do those different methods, right? So, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I do think you could go in guns blazing, and I do think players do that. and I do think you can do it the assassin approach. I'm not sure if there are many other approaches in between those. Whereas this game, to me, seems to be trying to introduce more approaches where I'm thinking, I don't really know if there are that many more approaches, but I guess we'll see.
I can't think of any. Like, all I can think of is like you've got stealthy, you've got go in guns blazing, you've potentially like got set up traps and then go in guns all blazing.
Or
You've
like
then got
hacking robots, yeah.
Yeah, you've got like the hacking side of stuff. I mean, I can't really. I mean, I guess that's probably where the ingenuity of the game comes from. If they've took the time to think out lots and lots of different ways you could approach, like like an encampment, I guess you could call them, right? Like an AC, and you've got a group of people and there's like the leader or like the captain or whatever. Yeah, I'm actually like, I think the thing that's actually making me love this game the most is the aesthetic of it, the way it looks. I like how it's almost like The Purge, but in London.
Yeah.
That makes sense with like the gas masks and the X's over the eyes and the buttons and the neon and everything. I like the way it looks.
Yeah.
Which is like, as I've said in many previous episodes, that is like a big thing for me. If the artwork looks good and the way the aesthetic is generally, I'm more likely to play the game. Even if it's a bad game, if it looks good, I'll still probably play it.
Are you going to be playing this game at launch, Jay?
Well, we've got Squadrons at the beginning of the month. So
that's the beginning of October.
Yeah, it's
Crikey.
October 9th, I want to say.
Okay.
So we've got 20 days to play Squadrons, and if I get bored of it within those 20 days, then yeah, I'll probably play it day one. I don't know.
If not, probably not.
Yeah, I might potentially leave it, but chances are there's probably going to be like a really nice pre-order bonus, so I might even I get so drawn in by the pre-order bonuses. So
okay.
If there's enough of an incentive with the pre-order bonus, then I probably will. Like a week or two before, I'll be like, yeah, I might as well.
Quick side note, Jay. I don't want to complicate the conversation, but it seems to me that most of the games coming out at the crossover point of the generations, smart delivery seems to be applicable to a lot of them at launch. And we've now got Sony saying that there's a free upgrade for some of those games as well. And that's a rather complicated message because they've said Cyberpunk, Watch Dogs you can get for free, but it's like, yeah, but how many games can you actually get for free? I think we're going to have to look at this at a game-by-game basis. I was just going to say.
100%. Honestly, before the consoles become available to pre-order, I might have to look at what games are available for smart delivery and then like have to divvy up and pros and cons potentially. But I mean, at this point, I'm still looking to buy both. So
yeah, it's going to be really. It's going to be really cool, like you say, Jay, to once we finally have all the information of the release dates and price and the official launch lineups, it's going to be really cool because I think we should do a show on we're really going to weigh up these consoles and see which one we want to buy.
Yeah, I have a news story coming up in a bit actually that we can talk about that a bit more.
Cool. Jay, there was a new trailer for Might and Magic Era of Chaos. I've got absolutely nothing to say on that unless you have.
Yeah, no, that's like a mobile game, right?
Yeah, no. And then Brawlhalla is coming to mobiles as well. August 6th.
Not too fast.
And then moving on, we had a new game.
Yes.
Tom Clancy's Elite Squad.
Yes.
Looks very interesting, very different, very Fortnite-y. And the interest here comes from the name Tom Clancy on it and the fact that Sam Fisher's in it with the official Sam Fisher voice actor, who I can't remember the name of. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't think I remember that either.
What coming August 27th, Jay, to mobiles? What were your thoughts on this game? I thought you had some pretty interesting thoughts when we saw it revealed.
There wasn't any gameplay, was there?
Well, we haven't seen for months. Apparently, it's already been revealed. Apparently, no, it was the CG trailer, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So in that case, then probably.
Was it Battle Royale?
Yeah, I mean, potentially. It looked like some sort of like arena type thing.
It says it's 5v5, so maybe it's a bit of a hero shooter, but I've got no interest in this whatsoever, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep an eye on it. I don't think it'll probably be okay. I mean, it'll probably be something that I might play for like a week, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on that one. I have to wait and see. Yeah.
The next game was Hyperscape, which was the Battle Royale game, which I was getting confused with.
Yeah, so I watched this on Twitch with a few people. I probably won't play it myself, but I'm happy to watch other people play it. I don't know if it'll last that long, honestly. It's more of a waiting game at this point, just to see what people do. I can't see many people I don't know. Yeah, wait, that's a big big what if on that one.
Sure.
Definitely.
I'll add to that. So we'll move on to the meat of the bone. Jay, we saw Valhalla in all its glory. It's beautiful.
And we got a release date as well, and it scared the hell out of us.
Yeah, we did. Do you want to tell everyone the release date, Jay?
It comes out 2 days before the predicted PlayStation 5 release. So
More
November 17th.
importantly, 2 days before.
Oh, Cyberpunk, yeah.
There we are.
Which is scary as hell. Because
Oh,
the two biggest
God.
games, probably my two most anticipated games other than Miles Morales, coming
Sure.
out within 2 days of each other scares the hell out of me. It's also going to affect the sales of all those games too.
It will. It will.
Like, the chances now are that Cyberpunk isn't going to sell as well as it would have done if Valhalla had come out either after or way before.
I think Valhalla will be the one to suffer.
If anything, I think people who know they're going to get both are going to have to save up, like if you know younger people, and they're probably going to end up buying both anyway. It's difficult. It's so difficult.
Jay? What are you going to do genuinely with this? Are you just going to play Valhalla for 2 days and then move on to Cyberpunk?
I honestly might have to skip Valhalla and wait for Cyberpunk, play that as much as I can, and then come back to it.
Okay.
I won't be able to get it done in 2 days. I won't be able to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
I won't be able to do it.
It's not feasible. Yeah.
Because I put 110 hours into Odyssey, and the most I can play in a day is 10 hours. So if I do 20 hours of a game that I know is probably going to take me about 100, I'm not going to enjoy myself. I'm just going to I'm not going to be able to do it. So I'm going to have to have it and then wait. I can't. I'm not one of those people who can start a game and come back to it. I have to live it for the whole 2 weeks or however long I play it for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. What about you? I'm guessing you're probably going to do a similar thing.
Yeah, mate. I think you took the words out of my mouth. I'm going to skip it. Play Cyberpunk. I can't emphasize
so weird though, isn't it? That's such an odd thing to have to say out loud.
I know. To what has suddenly, well, I say suddenly, what has grown to become, Jay, one of our most anticipated games in recent memory, from the hype from Odyssey to the new consoles to East Anglia being all over the gameplay trailer. We were losing our minds. And now it's like, right, I can't realistically play this for probably until December, if not after. For me, at least.
You missed quite a lot after you left, by the way.
No, I know. I left the stream and then they started showing the gameplay trailers, but I left because I didn't want to. I'm already buying it. I don't need to see it.
It's very true. But there's some info that I thought was a bit revealing. I was like, oh, that's cool. But that's a bit I don't know. There were some mixed things. I was like, that's probably not that great. That's a bad sign, but that's a good sign. There was a lot of So
I thought we were both impressed. To go over the gameplay in general, Jay, I thought we were both quite impressed with the fluidity of the movement and what looked like 60 frames per second.
Yeah, but again, it probably was more like 30, but without motion. There was no motion blur or with motion blur. So
Sure.
I mean, they could have also, I don't know, they could have been running it in 60, but it might actually only be playing on 30. I don't know.
And they made the world look so rich and detailed, and
the colors are amazing.
Yeah, it just they made it look like I want to play this game tomorrow, and it looks like it's got so much content, but content we want to play.
We spoke about Fable a lot last week, and it kind of reminded me of how I imagined the new Fable would look. Because to me, Fable is Britain, in anywhere between 500 and 1000 AD.
Yeah.
In the fall, in the autumn. To me, Fable is only in the autumn. There's always red leaves everywhere. That's my nostalgic look at how I remember Fable 1. It's just red leaves. That's my number one thing. The game was very maroon, very red, very orangey, very brown colors. Whereas this Valhalla sort of had that, but it also had the greens and the wintry type stuff. It had everything, so I'm looking forward to this massively.
Yeah, man, you give me deep feels with that because I'm now thinking of walking through the guild and things like that.
Exactly.
Oh, the music, yeah.
I think the one big thing with Valhalla was the township, I guess you could call it, having to be able to build up your town or whatever.
Yeah, mate, talk about dreams coming true. The one thing we talked about, the one element that we had a discussion about where, we wish that was back in Assassin's Creed. I can't remember if you said this, Jay, but I said that I missed the villa, the villa development from AC2 and onwards, and they brought it back. Thank God.
I think they probably did that deliberately so that we would not get sick of it, because having to do that in every game would probably become a bit of a,
tedious
too much of a
task.
good thing. Very tedious. Yeah. I mean, they kind of replaced that with the ship mechanics, didn't they? In Black Flag.
Yes.
Which I guess they kind of had in AC2 with like sending out your assassins to like do missions for you. And like I guess the upgrading of your ship in Odyssey and everything else was a bit like that too. So
yes, correct. Yeah.
They sort of replaced it with like other things, but this is good. I like this. My big question with that is it going to be in one place in England, or is it going to be in like multiple places? Are you going to have multiple places you can build up? Are you going to have to do it in? To me, it sort of makes more sense to do it in multiple places, like every big town that you take over, like London or Norwich or Manchester or wherever. Maybe like more on the East Coast. So I don't know what was on the East Coast. You would have to like whichever biggest city you end up being in is like the one you build up or whatever. I don't know. Or maybe you just have one base and then probably one in like the Nordic side of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be cool either way.
Can't wait to play this game. Coming out November 17th. Again, apparently another free upgrade.
Well, yeah, because the fact that the Xbox is probably going to be out that week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like you'd have to have... Yeah, I mean, you'd have to have it. Because, I mean, the amount of people who are probably going to buy it on one is actually going to be very minimal. Like, you're not going to see a lot of people buying it on one and then... This is like really hard to explain, like, because there's such a small window from the Xbox being released and the game coming out. The only people who are buying it for one are people who know they're not going to get the new Xbox, right? Yeah. So for me, I'd probably actually wait for the new Xbox to come out and buy it with the new Xbox rather than get it on previous and then upgrade. I feel like it'd be a bit of a, unless it was cheaper, I don't know. It'd probably have to be like a price thing.
Or people are desperate to play the game and they can't afford the new console, to be fair. Last thing, Jay, that they showed us was unfortunately leaked a couple of days before, and I don't actually check out leaks, it just showed up on my Google News feed. But Far Cry 6 was revealed with the guy from Breaking Bad, Gus, as the main villain. I love Far Cry 3, haven't really played any of the others, although I'm sure they have a great place in that checklist gaming sector. So what are your thoughts on this, Jay? You maybe have more history with Far Cry than me.
I said to you that this one kind of feels like it's going more on the Just Cause path, like that sort of Latin America government overtaking type feel.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's just drastically different to previous ones. I don't like, as much as I love the go to this tower, unlock this area, do these side missions, collect these, things to craft your bow and craft your weapons and stuff. Like, that can get tedious if done a certain way, which I feel like Far Cry has done enough now. I think we need something completely different. We need like almost like a second era of Far Cry. This needs to be like a soft reboot of how Far Cry plays.
Like Creed,
which to me, I don't think that's what they're doing. I think there's just going to be same old, same old. There's probably going to get quite bad reviews for it. I have a feeling. Because they know they're going to still make money from it. They know they're just going to do quick and easy. I think Far Cry 7 might be the next better one. I don't know. I don't have much faith in this, to be honest.
I agree
I'm proven wrong.
Yeah, I agree that a phase 2 is needed pretty drastically with this franchise.
Yeah.
And I also think that they may be churning out Far Cry games a little bit too quick for comfort at this rate.
Yeah. I think they probably could have waited another year.
Definitely. Make them wait.
Again, that makes me think that this one is going to be very similar to 5 and that it's just going to be another money-making type thing.
Coming out early next year, which is a good release date.
To me, Far Cry just feels like money to them. It's like, yep, we know it's going to make money, so throw it out and hope it does okay.
Yep.
But, I mean, I hope to be proven wrong. I kind of feel like I probably shouldn't have even bought the last Far Cry. Because it glitched out for me whenever I got to the same point in the games. I was like, yep, not going to bother.
Which one was that 5 or New Dawn?
Yeah, 5.
5, right, okay.
I got to the same point. I played the game twice, got to the same point twice, glitched out. I was like, yeah, I'm done.
As in, you had to restart the game.
Yeah, I restarted to see if that made any difference. Nope. Got to exactly the same mission and it did the same thing. It didn't let me progress any further.
Wow. Was that a known bug, Jay?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, but they never fixed it.
That's
Even a
bad.
year later, which was just bad. So
That's bad. They also finished by saying, Jay, that they're going to have another Ubisoft Forward, which was surprising. I thought this was going to be their big reveal, but it looks like they want to spread it out more.
yeah, I'm trying to think what else they've got to show off.
Well, they've got Rainbow Six Quarantine, which is the kind of zombie horde mode of Rainbow Six Siege. They've got Gods and Monsters, which is from the creative director of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and they've got Skull and Bones as some key games to show.
I guess then. Yeah, so they'll probably be the bigger ones, and they'll have like a few other little ones to go alongside it.
Yeah. And hope, mate, praying any type of Child of Light 2, Beyond Good and Evil 2, and Splinter Cell.
And I kind of hope there's just like a whole completely new IP.
Yeah, that'd
like,
be cool.
Hope brand new, like either RPG or like maybe even something similar to like Destiny or another Division type situation. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just something new. Just give us like a whole new. Whenever I want, and whenever I think about showing off game releases or like previews to games, I think just show me something new. Show me something I've never seen before. Just please, I don't want this. I mean, there's some games that require some like same old with like Assassin's Creed, maybe, but other games I want to be shocked. I want the E3 type releases and reveals to be hype and shocking. But I got that a little bit so far, but not massively. I don't think.
Sequel sell, man. Sequel sells.
Certainly do. That's the problem.
Should we move on to the official news, Jay, for the next movement?
Yes, it is.
Judo chop.
Right, you want me to do this next bit then, yeah?
I do.
Okay, hang on. I need to.
So just to let the listeners know, the beautiful listeners, Jay put he's starting to run out of accents for me to do, which I thought was ridiculous. So I've now put a challenge to him to do an accent.
Alright, okay, here we go. I'm just going to say here's the news.
Okay, fine.
And might put some stuff on it. You might have to. I'm gonna give it a few tries potentially too.
Okay.
All right, pal. Here is the news.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I feel like the first bit was like to get me into it.
Sure.
It's like an orange and a toothpick. That's from my dad. Salute.
Yes. Shut.
He'll get that.
Try to lose some weight, sailor, for goodness sake. Was it soldier? I don't know.
Love it.
All right. I got one news story this week, Jay. Nice and slim.
Yeah, not as many this week. Just
like the slim, fast shakes. Yeah, mate. So it's only an opinion piece. This comes from Harry Shepherd at PC Gamer. My cousin's called Harry. And he talks about how repetitive tasks in big open worlds are just what he wants to play at the moment. And this resonated with me, and I thought it might resonate with you. In the sense that he talks about, again, don't want to give away the whole article, but he talks about how actually at the moment with so much going on, distractions within the video game world, we're kind of welcoming a semi-tedious tick list approach to games at the moment, and that's actually quite comforting.
Yeah, so at the start of this whole lockdown thing, I noticed that a lot of people went back and played Assassin's Creed games, which lend themselves to being mission, bunch of collectibles and side stuff, and then back to main missions, which is exactly what this is talking about. Like, I think most of the article they do talk about AC, which is actually kind of how I feel a lot with going back to it. And then Ghost of Tsushima is a lot of that as well, from what I've seen. It's very similar in that there's main missions, side missions, but there's also a lot of collectibles and things to like go and adventure and find. So
Yeah, yeah,
yep, I can totally agree with this. Totally.
yeah. And it did resonate with me in the sense that for whatever reason, like you say, Jay, people started playing Assassin's Creed games again, like Origins and Odyssey, and that actually works well for Ubisoft because that grants them hype for Valhalla that they otherwise wouldn't have.
Massively. Yeah, I feel like Valhalla's probably going to sell better because of what's happened over the last few months.
I
I
imagine
think
most of the
gaming in
games
general
will.
has like probably
Yeah,
gotten a massive boom this year.
it did get a boom. It has gotten a boom since lockdown, financially.
Yeah, I mean, gaming is probably like really, really done well over the last few months.
Yeah,
Like even people that had never, the amount of people I've seen online who have bought a console because of this, like whether it be a Switch, Xbox,
really.
PlayStation, and then bought multiple games to go along, just because they've got to have something to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Massive, yeah. Which is again, this just lends itself to now with this next generation of stuff. There being so much more money packed into it that better things could come out of it. So this is
Yes.
good. It's all good news.
Yeah, and Netflix has been huge for us inside, and I think at the end of the day, Jay, people are buying video games because really, bang for your buck, they're going to be your biggest distraction by a mile.
And you can usually gauge how long that distraction is going to be. Like if you're someone who's quite a slow player at things, maybe you're not a casual gamer, but you're slightly less of a casual gamer. A 20-hour game might take you more like 40.
Yeah, yeah,
Which is a long time. That if you only play 2 or 3 hours a day, it's going to be like a couple of weeks. So
exactly, exactly.
ideal for a lot of people. Yeah,
And if you're
definitely.
playing Odyssey, a couple of years.
Yeah, probably for you, maybe. Yeah.
Oh dear. Right, Jay,
Jesus.
move on to
Yeah.
your
No.
side of the news.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So yeah, I was talking earlier about the console news. I don't know how it is on the Xbox side, but Sony, this is IGN, Adam Bankhurst,
Awesome.
recently, well, actually, it was reported by Nikkei at Bloomberg, I want to say.
Nikkei Asian.
Yeah, odd. But yeah, they're saying about how Sony have reportedly increased production to 10 million consoles in 2020. So there's going to be 10 million PS5s available,
And that
right?
was from the original 5 to 6 million figure, is that correct?
Yeah, which just seems insane to me. How many PS2s have been sold?
150 million?
Oh, okay, maybe that isn't. In my mind, there's only been like 15 million. I don't know why it's so low.
PS2?
Yeah,
No, 150, yeah.
155. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, what are your reactions to this, Jay? Do you think they've put this in because they know, as we just mentioned, COVID, gaming's up, people want to play games, people want to buy the new consoles, even though actually financially it doesn't make sense to because we're probably looking at recession. So, what are your thoughts on the increase in production?
Yeah, no, it makes me glad actually because I was a little bit worried that. I mean, this might sound a bit silly, and probably is. In my mind, I'm always like, I guess there's like a level of FOMO. You know what FOMO is? Fear of missing out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When it comes to like being able to pre-order something and then it being sold out.
Yeah.
Like you didn't get there quick enough, and now you've got to wait a month, and you're like, oh god, I'm behind.
Welcome
I
to
don't want that to
Nintendo
happen. I
Wii.
want to be. I want to be there day one.
Yeah.
Day one, I'm pre-ordering both things. It's happening. Okay, so I just have to be ready. This just makes me like more happy that there's probably going to be more chance of me, not missing out.
I had
So
the exact same thought, Jay.
yeah.
Selfishly, for me, this increases the chance of any gamer to get a PS5 when they want it.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything on the Xbox side of this, but I imagine we'll hear something fairly soon. We'll probably hear something between now and end of July, because again, we've got the 23rd of July is when the
Next week, yes.
yeah, when the next so yeah, a week today. So literally it would have happened at 5 p.m. So 3 hours ago, a week from now, we'll have known potentially this information. But yeah, this is good. I like this. This is reportedly, but yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact numbers of how much the PS4 sold.
Over 100 million, nearly 110, I think.
But PS4 sales within the first week, or like first month maybe, or first year. Let me look up first year. I don't know. It doesn't say exactly, which is annoying.
I think you're looking at first year. You're looking at around 10 to 30.
Yeah, that makes sense because I feel like PS4 has sold 108 million units since 2014.
Yep.
So 6 years, I guess, 110 divided by 6, so 18 million a year roughly.
Okay.
So yeah, I can't imagine they'll sell 10 million in the first week.
No.
It'll probably be more like 10 million within the first 6 months.
A few months, yeah, exactly.
So maybe this 10 million will get them, from November to end of April, and then they'll probably start production again, start of the year next year, to get the next 10 million in, and then they'll probably keep doing that every 2 quarters, I imagine, or maybe every year they'll probably put out another 10 million, just keep going for as long as they can. Although I don't know, like, there's probably going to be a lot of people who are content with keeping a PS4, right? Or an Xbox One, and they don't really want to go and spend for this new console unless they've got enough of an incentive. Like people like me and you, it's almost guaranteed we're going to get these consoles, but there might be people who are slightly less of a gamer than us, who are obviously a lot less likely to go and buy out a new console because they want the next level of gaming experience. So I don't know, I have to wait and see on that one. But no, this is a lot of reassurance, so I'm happy about that. Massively happy. Shall I move on to the next one?
Let's.
Okay, so again,
this comes from
IGN.
Matt TM Kim.
Yeah. So this is quite interesting. This is almost like some level of politics that don't quite. It's almost a conspiracy. So Sony have acquired a minority stake in Epic for $250 million.
Okay.
This is all to do with the demo, the PS5 demo, the
Unreal Engine 5
demo.
Yeah.
When the demo first came out, they were saying they weren't taking investments initially because they didn't want any particular gaming company to have any say in how they were going to use the engine, essentially.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are saying that now that Sony have the minority stake in Epic, the people who own this engine, they've now potentially got more of a say of where it can and can't go. I think this is like up in the air originally, like of what could happen, but there's definitely a lot of like whispers about what could potentially happen, essentially. What do you think about that, Nick?
Interesting. I don't know much about this, but it's interesting that Sony would invest that much in Epic with another engine rather than help the developers, their first party developers, develop their own. Maybe even make their own commercial game engine. But clearly there's something there, and Epic are on a high at the moment, so I can see why that investment may pay off in the future.
Yeah, this is like weird to me. So Epic are the ones who have the Unreal Engine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like this.
And they make
really
Fortnite, and they've just released their own PC marketplace platform.
So Epic, to me, seemed very, very small back in the day.
Sure.
When it first came out, to me, Epic seemed like it was also very Xbox centric. I remember Epic games being
Gears
more targeted. Yeah, Gears of War. They were sort of more targeted towards the Xbox side of things, but it now seems to be swaying the other way.
Yes.
Seems to me like PlayStation want to get ahead of the branding and be like, yes, Epic is going to be more of a PlayStation loved, I guess, entity.
It definitely seems that way for sure. It's interesting to see this happen.
It also surprises me, like Epic would have never gotten this big if it wasn't for Fortnite.
It's true.
I'm trying to imagine a world that doesn't have Fortnite in it.
And those who will remember, PUBG was the peak right before Fortnite.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. I feel like there was some point in time where the timeline diverged, and we're now on this secondary timeline.
Yeah.
But the other timeline kept going without Fortnite, and something else happened entirely. I feel like when playing Back to the Future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, the timeline definitely split when Fortnite came out. I'll tell you that right now.
It sure did. It sure did.
Creepy as hell. Creepy
Is
as
Fortnite
hell.
still peaking?
Actually, I wonder what the Fortnite daily players. Have a look. What do you reckon if you had to take a guess?
Joe, I honestly couldn't tell you.
So there was 78.3 million active Fortnite players in August of 2018, but the number currently stands at concurrent Fortnite players at 8.3 million. So at any point of any day, there are roughly 8.3 million people playing at any time.
That's so many people.
Daily for the last 2 years, daily, which is more than most games ever sell ever.
Correct.
Over 40 plus years. There's probably been games that haven't even reached 1 million over like 10 years.
Correct.
But this game gets 8.3 per day.
Per day.
Per day. That's insane. 78.3 in August 2018 is insane too.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ, there's so many. There's so many.
All right, Jay, do you mind if we move on to
Weirdly,
the next movement? Sorry, I just cut you off.
yeah, no, weirdly, France seems to be quite a large player in the Fortnite. That's strange. Okay. Yeah, next one.
Interesting. Have a shock on my jibble. Jay, hit me with the facts.
Yeah, so I think last week I spoke briefly about there being some. Yeah, my mouth can't move right now.
Mate, I literally said to Indy earlier, right? I was like, my saliva produces there's too much saliva in my mouth. Like, if I keep talking, it just builds up. And slowly, I just start sounding like this. And then she's like, "Oh, you can get medication. You can get medication for that." And then she go, "Oh yeah, you can put this thing behind your ear and it stops it." But I wouldn't do that because the side effects are really bad. So you can get saliva medication. So I was like, "Saliva medication?" She's like, "Yeah, for babies who can't stop dribbling." And I was like, "All right, okay."
So you're a baby that can't stop dribbling, apparently. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So last week I spoke a little bit. About gaming statistics, just like in general. I think
how many games were out?
Yeah, you specifically asked me about how many games were out at certain years, and I could not find that. But I found other information that may or may not be interesting to you. So we'll begin with this. The global games market, aka the revenue per year, and its growth over the last 8 to 9 years. How do you feel about this information?
Very interested.
Okay, so this year, well, actually, we'll go with last year. So the end of last year it was $151.9 billion, which actually the majority of that, 54% of that being mobile games.
Wow.
22% of that being PC and 24% of that being console. Mobile games more than double the amount of overall money made, with console and PC combined, essentially. Which, as I was saying to you before about mobile games, they make bank, which is part of the reason why mobile games are becoming bigger and also becoming more frequent in their release, because companies are being like, oh, well, we can make more money with one mobile game than releasing a console and a PC exclusive game. Might as well make the cheaper option and get more money for it. So
100%.
Yeah, honestly, it kind of like, if people were there's definitely a timeline or a world where there's no such thing as a console or a PC game. It's just all mobile gaming.
Do you like the idea of that feature?
No, definitely not. Get rid of that idea. Don't mention it again, Jay. Don't mention it again.
Jay. Yeah, no, I feel that.
So yeah, we'll say $152 billion, roughly, end of last year versus end of 2012, which was $70 billion.
Wow.
With mobile games being 18% of that revenue, PC
Wow.
games being 37% of that revenue, and console games being 45%. So actually,
Fuck you,
cons
PC.
so yeah,
Fuck
console games have actually gone
you.
down in terms of overall revenue per year. PC games again have gone down every year in terms of overall revenue of the year, and mobile games have gone up exponentially from 18% to 54% in 7 years.
That's
Mobile games have
bonkers.
blown up
That's bonkers.
absolutely. So 18
Is it getting bigger?
23%.
Will it stop? Will it
Well,
stop?
so yeah, next year's predictions are supposed to be 59% mobile, 19% PC, and 22% console.
Well, at least the PC
So
know where it stands.
less
Read
console,
between
less
the
PC,
lines.
hell of a lot more mobile. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just thought that was quite interesting to know that the fact that mobile games are taking over the world right now in terms of
Very
money. Anyway,
interesting.
and
Very
money,
interesting. You wouldn't think it tapping into the gaming community at
which I
large.
correlates to the idea of games now having to be cost more money, because in terms of console games, they're actually making less and less money every year,
Correct.
which I guess is partly why WB or like AT&T wanted to get rid of the WB side of things, the gaming side of things, right? They wanted to just stick more to game like mobile stuff.
And it
Which
might
makes
also
sense.
be why Konami back in the day stopped doing games pretty much as well. That could be another reason.
That's probably also why Diablo went on mobile rather than console when everyone got really annoyed
Just
like
an
2
April
years ago.
Fool's joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've all got phones, right? So oh, Jesus Christ. That in his head, that basically like translated to, "Oh, more money for us, please."
Yeah.
Like, that's basically he was just thinking money. All they were thinking Blizzard is like money, money, money. Jesus Christ. I hate when people like talk like that. That really annoys me. Right, okay. We also spoke a little bit about driving games last week, or was that week before?
Last week, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were speaking about what percentage of all games sold during a year are driving games versus like shoot games,
I would
sport games.
love to know this.
Yeah, so I don't have 2018, but I have 2013. So we'll just go
Sure.
by a couple of years ago.
Sure. Well, 7.
So 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But I guess you could scale these however you want to.
Sure.
The biggest one on the pie, biggest piece of the pie is actually action games at 32%.
Broad genre there.
Broad genre. Second being shooter games at 20%.
I imagine that's probably incorrect because they're probably counting Call of Duty in the action. What do we think about that?
Probably not. I imagine they probably put Call of Duty in shooter and probably put action as in like games like maybe like I mean you can't really
Third person, everything.
yeah just like anything else that doesn't require shooting I guess just
Sure.
melee games stuff like that.
Sure. Okay.
Next biggest being sport games at 13%.
Interesting.
Makes sense though, doesn't it?
I thought they all sold ridiculously well every year though. FIFA, Madden.
Yeah, but obviously not as much as action overall and shooter overall.
Sure.
Next biggest two pieces of the pie are role playing and adventure, both at 7%.
That's sad. It's very sad.
Yeah, all the rest of them are all very small figures, but the one I guess we could next say is racing at 4.6, roughly 5%. So yeah, racing games aren't that big of the pie. I mean, it's still fairly a big chunk at 5%. You know, still pretty big.
They have their place. It's nice to see.
They really do.
It's nice to see. They exist in that space and they always will. And actually, Jay, you bring up an interesting point because I've always thought that in that sense, the driving sector is actually quite fragile. As in, if you release 5 driving games a year, they are going to suffer.
Oh, 100%. I think you could probably release maybe 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And also,
sure.
I feel like the racing community is quite big, but not as big, obviously, versus shooters or role playing or other things. So,
100%.
yes.
Jay messages me at work I'm at work. He messages me.
Honestly, I didn't expect you to want to call. I just thought, oh, he'll probably message me back saying, okay, cool. And that'd be it. I literally thought you'd put, okay, cool. And then that'd be the end of the conversation. But no, this man decides to ring me anyway. Jesus,
Literally.
Honestly, I forgot you were at work. I just thought, yep, Nick's at home.
It's fine. It's fine.
Else.
And then, yeah, so rang him and then was like, Jay, this is very interesting news that he sent across.
Yeah, I was surprised that you had already because you said your brother sent you a message, right?
He sent me a screenshot of it.
Yeah. So we must have been on the same wavelength or something.
Yeah, another Incredibles moment. So Jay, do you want to tell the audience what we're talking about?
Yeah, so Ghost of Tsushima reviews came out on the 13th, I want to say.
Something like
that. 13th, 3 o'clock on the 13th. The embargo
3
was
3 p.m. UK time. Yeah.
And it's actually, I mean, me and you had a brief discussion thinking it'd probably be somewhere on the 7 to 8 range, right?
Correct.
It seems to be getting that, if not slightly higher, maybe more the 7.8 to 9 range.
Correct.
There's definitely not a lot of people who are giving it less than a 7. I don't think anybody is, actually, now that I've looked.
So, without getting into too much discussion about the reviews themselves, which I think is fruitless, how does this impact your journey of the game coming out?
Yeah,
Jay?
So the main reason I messaged you was because this is the first time one of the first times in recent history that review has actually helped me with the way I think about a game. I watched the review and went, "Oh my god, this has solidified my worries or lack of worry." This has made me think, "Oh, I definitely want to play this game now, 100%." Yeah, if anything, definitely that. And I'm very glad of what it's been getting. I think actually over the last couple of days I've been seeing more and more reviews and sort of reading more and more about people's opinions, and it seems overall more like an 8 to 9 scale. Definitely, I think the people who are giving it lower are probably being very finicky and picky about what they're lowering. Like their standards seems to be a bit different. But yeah, overall, I'm thinking that the game is probably actually going to be held in a slightly higher regard than what me and you spoke about a couple of days ago. Like to me, I thought the overall idea of this game was going to be, oh, it's another one of those, cool looking games that probably don't play that well, right? But I think in reality, the more I look at it, the more I watch it, the more I hear people talk about it, it seems to be more held in a regard of the game looks good, plays good, and will be remembered for quite a while. But maybe not to the same regard as something like Last of Us or Spider-Man or, I don't know, some Call of Duties previously.
Sure.
Like Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops, But it'll be up there, There'll be a lot of people who play it and enjoy it, so yes.
Are you more excited?
Yeah, no, honestly, I can't. It comes out in 3.5 hours.
You staying up for it?
No, I'm not. I've had this thing previously where I stayed up for a game, played it at midnight, and had it not be that enjoyable.
Because you're tired.
I feel like playing a game after midnight is not a good idea. I feel like my limit on playing a game is maybe 11:30. Anything later than that, a game starts to get a bit tiresome and a bit you feel like it's more of a job or a hassle.
See, that's so interesting because so many millions of people like doing that one more match mentality and going into 2 a.m. with their games.
The only game recently I've been able to do that with is actually that Rocket Arena game I played. I played that last night from midnight till about 1, and I was like, oh, it's actually quite fun.
Fair.
Because it was a game that didn't require me to follow a story.
Yeah.
Or be too involved. It literally was, 10-minute games, shoot a thing at this person, done kind of thing. But versus a game like AC Odyssey, I couldn't play that game after 11 or half 11. It would just ruin the experience for me a little bit. So yeah, gonna probably wake up at 8:30, 9, play it for an hour, like I said earlier, have a shower, play it for 2 more hours, have lunch, come back, do the usual stuff, and then do that for 2 or 3 days, or potentially a week, depending on how long the game lasts. Which I actually did look up how long I should be expected to play this game, and I'm fairly happy with how long it's going to take me.
As at the time of publishing this, Jay, you would have played it for a good day and a bit.
So Saturday. and it comes out Friday. So yeah, I'll have played it for like 13 plus hours, 15 hours maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Which is not even halfway, so bonus.
Very cool. This has only increased my intrigue on this game, and I just want to hear your thoughts on it once you finish it.
I can't wait to talk about this. It's going to be insane.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next movement, Jay. This is a small segment which I wanted to bring up. This is a very peculiar year. Our second ever show, I believe, was about summer gaming and our thoughts on it. I wanted to inquire with you about what your summer gaming plans are. Now, I know this is broad and general, and it all depends on what games release and what games are good in the next few weeks or so. But I want to get a feel for what plans you have, if any, over the summer period. And by summer, I would mean from now till early September.
So yeah, summer technically started on the 20th of June. So I guess technically Last of Us 2 was part of your summer gaming.
Sure. I'm thinking more now till September, okay, but I feel you.
I guess you could include Ghost into that, right?
Yeah.
Other gaming releases, I guess October, September. Oh, I guess so. So Squadrons doesn't count as summer gaming; it counts as autumn gaming. That's odd. I need to remind myself
what's coming out.
Yeah, so I've actually got a.
Well, while you look it up, Jay, I've got a couple of things that spring to mind for me which may get in there. So I've got Destroy Humans remake, which, if any good, I may look into. Crash Bandicoot 4, it doesn't qualify because it is in that October bracket. So apart from that, I'm kind of empty, actually. I've got Doom. I've got Doom Eternal in the back catalogue, and that's the only game in the back catalogue, and I've obviously got Odyssey to finish.
I do have one. You may or may not find this interesting. There's a new Total War game coming out. A Total War Saga Troy.
Very cool.
I am potentially getting that.
Is that an expansion?
Comes out... No, so that's just like a whole new game.
Oh, cool.
So that comes out August 13th. So that's a potential me playing. I'll have to look. I've been saving some videos to look up, see what the gameplay is like. So
very
probably
cool.
Like on the lesser scale of me getting it, but there's definitely a potential there.
Very cool.
That's probably it, honestly. Let's have a look. Yeah, nothing. I mean, technically Marvel Avengers, if I do ever actually think about getting that, and then Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is almost definite.
When's that coming out, Jay?
So Avengers and Tony Hawk come out the same day, September 4th.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and the new Destiny expansion actually comes out on the last day of summer, September 22nd.
Okay. So actually, the gaming season, as it were, kicks off very early this year with Avengers.
Oh, massively.
Yeah. Okay. I see myself as my main game of the summer, ironically, being Odyssey when I was playing it in April, which is mad, really.
Yeah, that's strange, yeah.
Yeah. But I've got Doom Eternal to get through, and I think it's a fifth of the size of Odyssey in terms of...
So now that you're done with Last of Us, I guess Odyssey is like the main priority at the minute, is it?
Correct, sir, correct.
And then once that's over, it'll be Doom.
Yeah. I really look forward. It's already helped just focusing on the one game. I can already feel the breathing expanding, and I feel really good about having to do Doom by itself as well. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, cool. Jay, what are you going to do then? You've got Ghost of Tsushima. What are you going to do?
Literally all I've got is Ghost. I really don't have
back catalogue. Wolfenstein 2 could be a very cool summer game.
Yeah, potentially.
Horizon also a cool summer game, but you're not feeling those.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be difficult.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot in the air at the minute about going back to work, and I think that's potentially end of July, so I might even have to just not worry about gaming at all.
Well, I mean, that'd be cool.
Until October, I guess. I think October might be the next time I actually have to worry about it.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. Another one, Jay, which may be in the garbage, as it were. I wanted to talk about external hard drives. I just wanted to ask
Yeah,
you what your setup is because I don't have one.
I don't have one either. I do have two USBs, both 128 gigs. So if I want to put a couple of games on them, I could. I think there was actually a news story released recently about I want to say the new Xbox or
Size of
potentially
games.
even no, either the new Xbox or the new PlayStation has a certain compatibility with external hard drives that isn't going to work. So
Right,
you have to
okay.
pick and choose which external hard drives you use now because
To
there's going to be
work
certain
on the
ones
next
that
generation.
work. I think so, yeah.
Right, okay. Interesting.
Check that, but
what I'd like to emphasize, Jay, at this point in time is the fact that we don't have external hard drives. I've always been of the mindset that once you are finished with a game, you should delete it. Cleaning is good for the mind, and
same.
getting rid of games you don't play is good for your play schedule. That's always been my mentality. I have 2 games installed on my Xbox, Odyssey and Doom Eternal. That's it.
Yeah, I think I have like two as well, like two or three.
It's real. It
Uh,
feels nice.
PlayStation, I have maybe three or four, just because
Yeah.
I don't know, just cause I guess.
Yeah. By the way, mate, did you want to play? Oh, did you want to play Battlefront 2 at some point soon?
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
You have to let me know when you're available to do so.
Okay, no worries.
I actually turned it on. I went on it for like 10 minutes just to remind myself how the menus worked and everything. I was like, okay,
Sure.
if I do want to get back into it. I think over time they tend to release things and give you things for free, like skins, if you like don't go on the game for so long. So I just went and like updated that and got rid of like the notification thing or whatever. So
Cool.
all good there.
Any word on the external hard drive stuff, Jay?
Yeah, basically, I think it's PlayStation. Something about platinum, something.
Okay.
Couldn't find it exactly, but I'm pretty sure that's what
Yeah,
it
it
was.
seems, Jay, that this might be a future for a lot of gamers in the sense that they'll need to buy external hard drives for their games. Again, I would emphasize that focusing on a few games at a time would be good. That being said, if those games you are playing include Halo, Call of Duty, and GTA 5, that's your whole hard drive taken up, so I can understand the issue there. Games are bigger than ever in terms of size, and that needs to be addressed in the next generation as well. What I would say is, if you've got a player base that you play with continuously on those size games, like, good for you, man. I can see why you need a hard drive. I then wonder whether the hardware manufacturers will provide consoles which will be 2, 3, 4 terabytes, which will help accommodate that. I don't know.
There might be some breaking news.
Big news.
Yeah, maybe something to worry about. Xbox, maybe not. It just says Xbox One X and One S digital will no longer be manufactured.
I didn't know there was an Xbox One X digital version.
Yeah, so the One S is like the digital only version of the One X. So that's not Series X. It's just a more recent.
Yeah. Will be what? Sorry, not yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically just stopping product. Yeah, which actually makes sense. I don't think there's gonna be many people buying the older consoles at this point.
Although
so.
they're not still manufacturing. Are they still manufacturing Xbox Ones then? Because that would be weird.
No. Probably stop that as well, I imagine.
Yeah, I imagine that too, actually. Oh, that's a bit sad, isn't it? Okay, Jay. Let's move on. To guess whose review. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who haven't given their eye sockets to the cause, me and Jay pick a random game review from a random media outlet, and we pick 3 quotes to guess from it. So this week, I'll be providing 3 quotes for Jay to guess the game. I can't wait to do this week. So I think I've done it really easy, but I guess we'll find out. But the first quote, Jay, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. That's always the bloody worry with this, isn't it? Is it too easy or is it too difficult?
Exactly that.
So the scores at the minute are 6-4 to you, I want to say.
Thank you. You're gonna be the score master, Jay, because you're way better remembering to do that than me.
Yeah, my memory is weird when it comes to useless information.
Oh, I thought you wrote it down.
Nope, just up here.
Like it.
Frontal lobe.
Sometimes I wonder if I forget it because I write it down. And Jay, before we start,
insane in the membrane. Yep.
Inside in the brain. I was going to look for a cool quote, but you've kind of already covered that, so we will just move on to the main part of this segment. But before we do that, you can write into the TGO show at contact@thegameopinion.co.uk or reach out to us on social media platforms like any normal human being would if you are under the age of 25. Jay, first quote. Each city is beautifully rendered from top to bottom and features meticulously crafted towers that reach for the sky, bustling market squares, and quiet corners where citizens converse and drunks lie in wait to accost you. Would you like me to read that again? It's quite a long quote. These are all quite long quotes.
Yeah,
okay.
Please, God.
Focus the man.
Do it slower.
Cool. Each city is beautifully rendered from top to bottom and features meticulously crafted towers that reach for the sky, bustling market squares, and quiet corners where citizens converse and drunks lie in wait to accost you.
Drunk.
I'm going to need a guess in the next couple of seconds.
Yeah, all right. I don't think I have one, honestly. The thing I was concerned about is drunks. Why
do not focus on drunk.
Towers. Thing is, you said crafted towers. So that makes me think.
I think they're referring to the fact they're made in game.
Yeah, that's probably what. I honestly don't know if I have a guess. Hang on. Crafted towers.
Reach for the sky.
Oh, okay. No, this is probably a bad guess, but I'm gonna guess. This is an awful guess. I'm gonna guess Crackdown.
Incorrect.
Yeah, that's not. I know it isn't. That's just dumb.
I'm getting worried how close that is, though.
Really?
Next quote.
Oh, okay. Fuck.
Quote number 2. In fact, the few circumstances in which you are forced into combat, such as a late game boss fight. Sorry, let me do that again. Such as a late game boss fight against a seemingly endless crowd of attackers and their leering leader, are challenging and require some pitch perfect timing to counter every strike and lunge.
Oh.
Oh no, he's got it.
I don't think I do, but this is annoying. I don't think I do. Right, one more time.
Okay. In fact, the few circumstances in which you are forced into combat, such as a late game boss fight against a seemingly endless crowd of attackers and their leering leader, are challenging and require some pitch perfect timing to counter every strike and lunge.
Damn it. See, the thing that's getting me is boss battles.
Focus on the word such as a late game boss fight.
This definitely isn't too easy, I'll give you that. Late game boss
I give that.
Honestly, once you say it, once I know what it is, it's going to piss me off. It's not. All right, okay. This is wrong, but I know it's wrong. Is it Batman Arkham City?
No. But still along the right lines.
This is not. This is dumb.
Okay.
Come on.
Quote number 3. By the way, you don't have to say a game. If you want to just move on to the next quote, we can do. That's fine. Quote number 3.
I have to guess at least, don't I? Because you got to tell me if it's wrong.
I've tried to be fairly fair on this last quote. Quote number 3.
I'm not going to get it.
Climbing towers to uncover portions of the map is a simple mechanic but forever satisfying, thanks to the beautiful vistas and soft musical themes that accompany the view.
No, you wouldn't have done that. No, you wouldn't have done that, because that's not good. If I think it is what you've done, I'm annoyed at you.
Why? These are quotes from the review.
One more time.
Climbing towers to uncover portions of the map is a simple mechanic but forever satisfying, thanks to the beautiful vistas and soft musical themes that accompany the view.
I'm gonna get it wrong.
Okay, hold on. Before you do, let's just go over everything. I'll emphasize some things in the quotes.
I take my glasses off. This is like
okay. Beautiful cities rendered top to bottom, really tall towers.
No.
Bustling areas. Quote number 2. There is a boss fight where you are fighting a lot of people and you have to be quite good in the combat at this particular boss fight. That does not mean this game has atypical boss fights in it. Do not focus on the fact it has boss fights.
Yeah, see, that's definitely what's tripped me up. Like, I'm going all through the games, it's like boss fights.
Quote number 3. You are climbing towers to uncover portions of the map. And when you climb these towers, it looks beautiful and there's music with it. Not like, not NWA. There's just nice music to accompany it.
I'm going to have a guess, and I know it's going to be wrong, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
Is it one of the Assassin's Creeds?
Correct.
Right, okay. I wish I would have gone with that previously. Is it...
Whoa. Hold on a minute, Jay. Do
I have to get it right? I feel like Assassin's Creed is good enough.
Hold on a minute. You do have to get it right, but just think about the second quote. You fought every late game boss in every one of the Assassin's Creeds. Now, which one?
Yes, so it's not Unity.
Which one has a boss fight where you fight like a few different people at the same time?
Odyssey. It's not Unity. I can't remember the end boss fight for Bloody Syndicate, which is annoying as hell.
It's not that one.
Can't remember. Actually, no, I remember 1. Can't remember 2. Can't remember 3. Can't remember Revelations. I honestly can't remember.
What was number 1?
It's not Origins.
What was 1's boss fight?
The number 1 was the guy with the Apple of Eden.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that one. Or it was that one. What? I feel like Assassin's Creed is good. I mean, the fact that you said Vistas makes me think like AC2 because it's like Italian.
Okay, I'll give you a clue. I've tried to be fair.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to pick AC4, for instance.
Okay, AC4 being Black Flag.
AC4 being one of the Assassin's Creeds. I've tried to be fair with this.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you because I can't remember.
Okay, hold on.
I can't remember the boss battles in like any AC2, Revelations, Brotherhood.
You remember AC2 is with the Pope when you go to the Vatican.
Do you have a staff?
Yeah.
Okay, vaguely. If you told me, I'd be like, yeah, obviously.
Okay. Think about the wording of the quotes. Think about the wording
of towers, vistas, drunken people.
And think about where this game would be in the franchise's history. So think this reviewer is reviewing it. This reviewer is reviewing it within the timescale of this franchise. So they're not really going to talk about, for instance, the climbing towers bit if it's AC Odyssey, because that's a well-known thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've given
the only game that's really got towers in it is potentially either Unity or like Brotherhood or Revelations. Origins doesn't, Odyssey doesn't. 1 kind of does, but if it hasn't got a boss battle of multiple people. 4 you said doesn't count.
Okay.
3 no towers.
I'm gonna give this one to you by giving you this clue. Think about what happens in the boss battle in the Assassin's Creed one.
Well, yeah, he splits into like lots of himself, I guess. Does that count?
It does.
So AC1.
Correct.
Jesus Christ. I said Assassin's Creed, that should count. Do you know what? I was going to say Assassin's Creed on my second guess, but then that's when I said to you, if you said that, I'm going to be annoyed at you. Because I knew if I said Assassin's Creed, you wouldn't give it to me.
Oh, yeah, but I would have said it's going to be one of them. No, I would have, because you would have said Assassin's Creed 1.
Yeah, but that's like the Mass Effect debate.
Correct.
Like, if I said Mass Effect, it could be either 1, 2, or 3.
Correct, but hopefully the quotes will give you an idea of which one it is. I did try to pick.
I'll take the 1. I'll take the 1.
Okay, all right.
Oh, Jesus, that was a lot of mental power.
That was a good one. That was a good one. I think I found the sweet spot.
I guess. That's the thing. It's so difficult when you don't know. It's like having like a murder mystery. As soon as you know who the killer is, everything else makes sense.
It's true. It's true.
Jesus. Right. Okay.
Get me out of here. Oh dear. Okay, Jay. Don't worry. We're finishing up now.
I was trying to like rattle my brain of like. It actually made me think of like how much I've forgotten about the old AC games.
It's been a long time.
When you said about AC1, I was like, well, yeah, he does turn himself into multiple versions of himself, but does that count? I don't think that counts. Because you said multiple people.
No, I said crowd of attackers. The quote is everything. The quote is everything. Jay, what are you going to be playing this week?
AC1. Hang on. When did AC1 come out? Like
2007. He's looking it up. I just told him. I just told you.
13 years ago. You expect me to remember a boss battle from 13 years ago?
I like the game a lot, all right?
Yes, so do I. Jesus Christ. Do you know what's funny? I guess this is a history dip slight.
Yeah, go on.
Or like a nostalgia type thing really quick. I remember exactly where I was when I finished AC1. I remember exactly where it was. I was in my dad's old house when he lived near Angular Square. I was sat on his bed, and I remember having to watch through the credits because we needed to go into the city somewhere, and he was begging me to like get off the bloody Xbox, but I didn't want to come off. I had to wait to the end of the credits. I remember that memory is so in the front of my brain, but the boss battle itself is not. Why is that? Jesus Christ. Okay. Fine. Right. You asked me what I'm going to be playing.
I mean, I know what you're going to be playing, but yeah, let's hear it, man.
Ghost, baby.
Ghost.
Yeah, so over the last, from like 6 till 7, I like did some research of like things I need to know before I go into it. Mm-hmm. Like basically, people have made videos of like 7 or 8 things I wish I knew before I played the game. Yeah, so like this. And it's been very, very educational. I feel like I'm actually going to be able to play the game a hell of a lot more efficiently now than if I would have definitely made a lot of mistakes that I probably would have never have figured out for myself unless I'd watched these videos. So I'm very happy about that.
Useful videos.
Extremely so. And maybe even over the next couple of hours, I'll probably still watch some more videos to sort of get myself ready.
Jay, I wanted to speak to you about this. Ghost of Tsushima is a game, the first game in a very long time, where I am of your mentality, where I want to look at videos to understand the game. I'm not afraid of that process. And I just wanted to let you know because I thought you'd relate.
Yeah. Yes, extremely so. The one thing I will say about Ghost is the trophies, spot on.
Let's keep the stream going, man. Let's keep the record going. God of War, Horizon, Spider-Man, Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima. Let's keep it going, boys. You're doing
basically all I'm saying is,
job.
You don't need to play the game on hard to be able to defeat it, so you only have one playthrough. There's no new game plus anyway. End of the game, you can go back and get all the collectibles, and they show up on the map once you end the game.
Hallelujah.
The only bad thing about this game is there is a 20% chance that your game will bug out and you'll need to go back to a previous save to make sure it doesn't happen.
For a particular mission?
Not for every mission. There is a known bug where at any time there's a 20% chance your game will bug out.
Right.
So what you need to do is after every mission, manually save the game.
It could be patched in the day one patch though.
It's already been patched 4 times, so I'm hoping it's been patched already. Honestly, they're on version 1.04, so the game's been patched 4 times since it got pre-order released.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I'm very
yes,
excited for you to play it, Jay.
Day one, there'll be a patch that fixes that. I'm hoping, because I've got a guide that I'm going to be following, so hopefully he updates it and we'll know. But I am going to still stick to the guide in that I'm going to manually save after every mission I do, just in case it does happen to happen.
Yeah, yeah. Jay, I'm very excited for you. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it. We will do a special on
honestly,
it.
Oh, I'm so hyped. Oh, God,
Nice.
yes.
What mode are you playing it in, Jay?
What do you mean if I'm going to be playing it in black and white?
Or Japanese, yeah.
Yeah, so the black and white I think automatically changes its Japanese.
I see.
That was actually one of the gripes the review had, is that the Japanese dubbing wasn't great.
Yeah.
Because the game's mouthing was all in English, but the dubbing was obviously
Oh, I thought they would.
It was yeah, exactly. It was a reverse. Usually, when you watch a Japanese show, the English dubbing doesn't match up with the lips, but it's actually the reverse. It's now an English game with a dubbing that's Japanese, so it's backwards.
That's
I know.
weird.
Well, it's a Western game. It's not a Japanese-made game. It's a Western-made game.
True, but when Japanese people play it, I thought a lot of companies animated every language now. I don't know.
Yeah, I was surprised by that, honestly. I was like, oh, they didn't go back and reanimate the mouthing, but obviously they didn't have time to do it. I don't know.
That's one of the things that Final Fantasy emphasizes, isn't it? Is that 13, they're voicing all of the things in English, and then the Japanese, they will voice all of the movements
no, it's all dubbed properly. It's just that, the movements aren't the same.
Yeah.
So I'm not too fussed about that, though. I'll play it in colour. I'll play it in English. It'll be easier.
Jay, how long are you hoping this game lasts you?
So, do you want me to say how long it's predicted?
Yeah, sure.
Or how long you think I'll do it?
Both.
So, without collectibles, without doing any of the side stuff, just main mission, 20 hours.
What are you planning to do as you play through it?
Oh, everything. So I'm going to play the game, main mission, side mission, any collectibles I come across, I'll pick up.
You're doing a nick, are you?
I'm doing it what?
You're doing a nick?
Well, no, I mean, I won't. So, certain games I'll go through and wait till the end to get all the rest of the collectibles, and other games I'll do them as I'm going.
Okay.
This one warrants, I think, after.
Okay.
Because the game allows you to do that. Some games don't allow you to do that. Because the game allows me to do it, I'll do it afterwards. I'll obviously collect as much as I can during, but I'm going to focus primarily on upgrading my guy and making sure that I'm getting the combat down, because the combat does require some level of muscle memory and just overall skill. So there's a lot of things I've watched videos of, like combats, like videos that have explained about how to properly do the combat, because there's actually been a lot of people memeing the game already, saying the combat is terrible, but the people who have memed it are basically terrible at games and don't know how to play the game properly. And they've just been mashing square, like, why isn't the game working? Why am I dying all the time? It's because you're not playing the game properly. You're not dodging, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, right? So I'm actually looking forward to, I think my one of my biggest drives of this game is looking forward to actually mastering the combat. That's one of my biggest things at the minute. It's big because I've actually seen a clip of someone who's mastered the combat and how fluid and like anime it looks, in quotes, and it just looks amazing. So if I get to that level, I'll be happy.
Awesome.
Excited.
Very.
And I imagine you are fairly excited about the DLC for Odyssey.
Yeah, mate. The biggest praise I can give the game at the moment, Jay, is I'm not really bored of it. So
good. That was my biggest fear with you going back to playing it, is that you're going to not be in the mood for it anymore.
Finishing The Last of Us has helped, but I'm game. I'm game to play it. We'll see how the DLC goes. I'm excited to explore Atlantis, etc. So I'll let you know. But yeah, just be playing that.
First DLC is the Legacy of the Blade, right?
Yeah.
And the second DLC is the Atlantis stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of like length of time for Ghost, it's supposed to take me anywhere between 40 and 50 with everything. So
nice, about Horizon level, but
so roughly 5 days to a week. We'll say between 5 and 7 days. anything longer than that is because I've potentially not been able to do something or like got stuck, but I doubt I will. So
don't feel the need to rush it because again, it
no,
will
I
be a
definitely won't.
special. Yeah.
If I can get it done before next week, I'll be happy. But if I don't, I won't worry. I'm not going to be like wanting to finish it. I'll just like finish it when I do, and then be happy with my journey as I take it.
In the same way that Final Fantasy VII Remake, you did this, will you
Yeah,
be happy that the game comes out, you finish it, it's done, you don't have to think about it in a sense?
yeah. I don't think I'll come back to it
Yeah,
necessarily. The game doesn't really warrant that too much. If I was going to ever come back to it, I'd probably just play it again in the black and white mode
yeah.
and
Are
just
you
maybe.
looking forward to it sounds horrible, isn't it? But are you looking forward to finishing it and being able to move on?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to move on to.
Mm,
It's just yeah, I'm happy. I just want to. I don't want to get it done, but I just want to feel like I've accomplished something having played it. So
yeah, yeah.
that's
Well,
where I'm
I'm
at.
sure you'll drop me a text or two with some stuff about it. And
I mean, there's a million and one things I kind of want to tell you now, but I don't know. That's just like, yeah, things I don't technically I haven't played it, so I don't really know.
yeah. Sure.
All
Sure.
speculation.
Okay. No worries. Well, thank you, man. I think we'll end the show there if that's okay.